All right, so in December 9th, 10th, and 11th, I'm going to be in Jupiter, Florida with Sarah Bressman Cosme, Erica Middlemiss, and Leah Ray. And we're going to be doing a channeling, light language, out of this world, very cosmic workshop. Information for that's coming. We've got details. We got the location locked down. We've got some details to put together. We got someone working on a banner for us. So watch for that to come out. And that's going to be on social media. If you're on my mailing list, you should be able to get that. Otherwise, go to my website when it's back up and running, and go to my social media. It will be posted there. If you're interested in that, that'll probably, my ideal would be that it's posted by the end of the week. If not, then it'll probably get posted sometime in October. So that's my announcement, but the workshop is 3 days and it's in Jupiter. Who wouldn't want to go to Jupiter, right? I didn't even know it was a place, to tell you the truth, until
Jupiter, Florida.
Jupiter, Florida.
Oh yeah.
What better
Florida
place
got
out of this world experience, right? Let's go to Jupiter. So anyways, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we got a fabulous location for it, and we're excited about that.
So can people go in person to this event, or is
yes,
this
it's
event
in person.
okay, not online?
Nope, it's going to be in person, 3 days. It's over a weekend, so 9th, 10th, and 11th. And it's going to be a limited, we only got limited space. I'm going to go out on a limb and hopefully not put my foot in my mouth. I think we think we can occupy, or what do I want to say, accommodate 30 people. So yeah, so we got that space set up and reserved, and that's ready to go. We just got to get all the details put together in a write-up and put it out to the public. So that's what. So by the time this comes out, it should be available.
Should be. Mercury retrograde all over.
We shall see.
The gremlins in the system.
That's right.
Sounds awesome. So how many speakers? Was that 4?
4, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be doing interactive work, teaching, channeling, light language, going into meditations and activations, all kinds of things. It's going to be fun. So
sounds like a lot of fun. And it's going to be you, Sarah, and who's the other two?
Leah Ray. She does Akashic Records, QHHT, and very much into the channeling in of information from the Akashic Records. Sarah Bressman Cosme, you guys all probably know her from the interviews with Jason, and
oh yeah, mother little buddy.
Yeah, and so you guys already know how great she is, but boy, when we put her under, she is a brilliant channel. Same with Erica Middlemiss, also brings in an amazing, beautiful channel, and she's gonna do a channel for us. I believe we're gonna put her under for a channel, and also talk to us about how that all works. So there's a lot of really fun things. I'm going to bring in Daniel, of course, and do activations with people, and so yeah, we've got a full weekend plan. We'll probably run out of time and wish we had more. So
sounds amazing. Sounds like an amazing place as well. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, something called Jupiter.
I mean, awesome. So yeah, we're excited.
I don't know if there's any reasons behind that, metaphysical wise. So
you call it Jupiter.
Do you have any other announcements?
I mean, next year I'm going to have a few things coming up, but those are not set in stone.
Busy.
Gonna be a little bit busy. So yeah, one of those is again another channeling and light language in Tahoe with a friend of mine. Her name's Trina, and she's like snagging somebody directly out of Egypt and just talking to him directly. She has got this most beautiful language that she speaks, and so she's going to be a lot of fun to do a group event with too, and that one's also in person, so that'll be another good one. So
nice.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, the only announcement that I can think of that I have is that if you want any behind the scene access or first look access, make sure you subscribe to the mailing list at QRE Network. And if you're on that mailing list, I'll send out the videos to you guys that is on that list first. So it's kind of like a first look type of thing. And
Privilege. You get
yeah,
privilege.
a little special treat, you know. So
Yeah.
because I posted on Saturday and it doesn't become live until like Sunday or Monday-ish. So just
So
depends
you
on the
get
timing.
the sneak preview.
Yeah, yeah, get y'all special. So I
Okay.
have nothing else that I can think of other than I will be working on a new series. Kind of fell into it accidentally. You'll see the first video of that soon, and maybe by the time I post this video, that video might be posted, but it'll be something like mysteries from the quantum realm or mysteries from the Stargate, quantum Stargate or something, you know, so I can
Oh my
get my
goodness. That's
little
fun.
Stargate symbol in there. And, you know, we'll talk about past lives, aliens, meaning of life, you know, what happens when we die, all that fun stuff,
Ooh, that
all the
sounds,
mysterious stuff.
you're gonna be a busy boy with editing. Let's just
I know,
good
I
job,
know.
Jason.
So I wasn't even gonna start this until like 2023 or something. You know, I was gonna wait until everything was kind of like done, and I is like, nope, nope, you're doing it now. So, so I'm
Yeah,
on my second video. I just haven't published them yet, but so I was like, well, I guess we're moving forward with this.
absolutely. This is all stuff people want to know. They gotta hear it. It's important.
Mhm.
All right, let's
Let's
go
go
get
get Daniel.
Daniel. Let's get him in here, see what he's got to tell everybody. You know, he's gonna be so excited to see you, Jason.
I hope that popcorn is hot and ready.
That's right. Jason, you act like we aren't there with you too, putting that 1 foot forward, 2 foot forward. We get you moving too. We have you going in all kinds of directions, maybe even too much to where your head might be spinning a little, yeah. But
So,
thank you again for having us.
thank you very much. So Daniel, you're trying to say that you're responsible for some of that busyness?
We we know that you are going to be such a big conduit of information for so many people, and you are just, let us say, just putting your toes in the water at this point as you keep evolving and growing this. You have to know that we are right behind you all the way. There is no accidents that you were ever pulled together with Tracie with this Arcturian energy. You are very much part of the collective. You are very much with your own counsel as well. And of course, I like to be there to guide and assist whenever I can pop in as well. So very, very much so, you are supported, you are loved, you are guided, you are pushed, you are nudged, you are shoved by each and every one of us. We like to keep you busy. It's good for
Oh,
you, right? It's good for you.
absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you for everything. So, and tell everybody else I said thank you.
It's like a big high five going on right here. And so, well, let us look at this audience. Let us see what it is that everybody would like to partake in at this time for energy, for what it is that they need to know. As we look at this collective, we see a lot of the energy around the people listening to this podcast. It is very soft right now. We're seeing a lot of the rainbow colors within the energy, and it feels very soft. It's not moving fast. It's not jagged or edgy at any point. It just feels very soothing and very soft. So we look at that and we see what we see with that is we see that each of you diving in, doing your work, making your way through, asking different questions, responding in different ways, and interacting with your realities with more knowledge, with more ability to seek and find, with more ability to observe and look at before responding, before reacting. So we see the energies are smoothing out, and with the smoothing out, there's a lot of healing going on, a lot of healing going on within the family, within the family tree, within the ancestors, within you, within the future. And so we see so much work being done, and we just want to say, you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you for taking the extra steps to look at and to heal and to process through the things that you have been faced with, the mountains you've had to climb, the interactions that you have had, the loved ones that you have lost, the things that have happened. And with each and every journey that you are partaking in this lifetime, you are supported, you are loved, just like Jason is. Yes, but you are supported and loved as well. You have your beautiful beings, you have your angels, you have your guides, you have your loved ones, you have other benevolent beings that are surrounding you and holding and supporting you in whatever way they can as you go on the journey. One of the things to remind everyone, it is something everyone already knows, but it is always a good reminder. Remember that you chose this. You chose this, you designed it, you are designing it in the higher realms. You are putting together experiences to move you in the direction that you want to go. So when you're experiencing something that makes you go, Daniel, I would never plan this for myself. I would never do this to myself. Take a step back and ask your higher self, why would I put this in my path? What is it that I wanted to learn from this? What is this showing me? And maybe you won't get it while you're in it. Maybe it's something that's going to be easier for you to see as you move forward in life and you look back at it. That is, what do they call that? The hindsight, right? When you have that ability to look back at it after you found where you were going with it, then you'll be able to see the importance of it. But there are times when you are actually in whatever it is you are going through, that you can see why it is there. You can heal something that is surfacing, and you can move even much quicker, much easier through it when you take the time to look at it, to feel it, to acknowledge it, to honor it. If we can tell you anything at all, and we say this often, step into the true and authentic self. Give yourself permission to be who you are. Give yourself permission to be sad, be angry, be frustrated, be disappointed. It is in the denial of your truth that you get stuck in the energy of the flow of life. And so no more denial. It sucked when that happened. That didn't seem very fair. These things that are playing out, I don't like them. It's okay to not like them. Did you know that? It's okay to not like it. But what's not serving you is to dwell in that space. So it's okay to acknowledge that you don't like it, but where are you going to put your energy? What is the vibration you're going to focus on once you realize there's something unpleasant that you don't like? And so that is where we encourage you to move in directions that will help you to raise the vibration, acknowledge where the pain is, acknowledge where the frustration, the disappointments are, acknowledge the things that are of dislike. But then what next? Where do you go from there? Now that I know I don't like this, what do I do about it? How do I move myself out of the energy of it? And maybe there's a healing path that needs to be taken. There are times where this is not just a snap of the finger and the mood changes and the circumstances will shift. Sometimes you have to go through experiences and move through all of that to get to the place that helped you to grow, expand, look at, broaden, and get into an expansive place of looking at the bigger picture. So many things are going on with so many people, and there is a lot of growth going on right now. For those of you who feel stuck in that energy, who feel like things aren't moving, you have been in a growth spurt. You have been in a massive energetic growth spurt. And so if you've been feeling sleepy or tired or like nothing is moving forward, it is because your higher self set this up for you so you could grow and you could be in this time of lull or slow down so that you could acclimate to this growth spurt and be more ready for the bigger energy that is coming in November. And so, yes, Jason, we will talk about that, right? We want to talk about the energy.
Yes, you got it.
So what we see for a lot of you is that you have been preparing. There's always flows of energy, waves of energy coming in. And sometimes if you are ready for them, they can seem gleeful. If you are not ready for them, they can seem very burdensome. And you have been going through a lot of that throughout the summer. The waves have been coming in, and it is very much a pendulum swing as to how it's going to hit you this time. And you are going to go through 3 more waves of energy through the end of September. You're going to be feeling waves of those energies coming through. So when you feel the mood swing, when you feel denser energies, or what feels like something is coming in very heavy, that is a large amount of energy being pushed into the planet at this time, because there are shifts coming for you in November. We have talked about October, November being a different time than the summertime. The summertime has been preparing you, and for those of you where the June, July, August are not summer, those months have been preparing you for this last part of the year, this last piece where a new energy is going to come in, and you have been preparing for that. You have been taking on lots of energy. You may have been feeling lethargic, or some of you may have been feeling very buzzed. You may have had the opposite. And if you're not feeling either way, that is okay too. It doesn't mean it's not preparing you. We're just letting people that are having these energies affect their physical being, that there are reasons for that happening. You are acclimating, you are moving the energy through the cellular system, you are creating a frequency within yourself that is going to be more accommodating to the frequencies that are coming in later in the year. And as those come in, again, you're going to be inspired, you're going to be downloaded, you're going to be activated, you're going to know things you didn't know you knew. You're going to want to create, some of you are going to create new art pieces that are going to reflect back the energy, the vibration, the light language, and maybe color schemes or sounds, frequencies that are going to be next level frequencies that are going to carry an activation for humanity. And some of you will be thinking about the next invention, right? The next way to create energy, to create platforms for making lives easier, for all types of things that are going to be coming in through technology, and how to make it better for those of you that fits with. There are so many things that are coming in, and the downloads for this information is coming in November and December. And then as we go into 2023, we have talked about this before. 2022 is kind of wrapping up some of the denser energies. 2023 is going to feel much lighter, and we always say that, right? You're going to feel much lighter, and then that time frame comes in, and life is still happening. We want you to know that you make the choice. You can choose to experience a lighter lifetime. You can choose to experience lighter experiences. Be in the knowledge of your choice. Know that you are choosing what to spend your energy on. Know that you are choosing where you are dialed in. And so if you choose to, you can experience 2023 and a higher vibration with technology that is not available to you yet, but it's coming. It's coming in the years ahead, but we see it starting to filter itself in 2023. And
Nice.
Ask questions, Jason. We know we're rattling on and on.
Yeah, we'll circle back a little bit. So in the close to the beginning, you mentioned a lot of healing is going to be going on, and you mentioned the family tree. So for the collective that's listened to this, what would that mean, healing for the family tree?
That is such a good question. There is the ancestral energy that hands down through generation to generation to generation, and each family could sit and talk and tell stories and share these generational experiences, and find that there are similarities, things that have been handed down through the generations, belief systems, behaviors, and learned behaviors, all the different things. And so it is because it has been taught or learned, or society has expected certain expectations for how people live their lives, how they earn their money, how they pay their bills, how they do their things. There are certain things in this world that are old constructs, and there are better ways. And so these old constructs, these old belief systems, even the abuses and the hurts and the pains of all those who have been part of your lineage can be healed now. It is all being healed now. There are masses of people out there with spiritual practices that are doing the ancestral healing for the planet, for the people. They are practitioners as well as individual healers working with the energy and the vibrations of the planet. And so this has become a mass movement, and people are stepping into the releasing of the old patterns, the old constructs, the old programs that have been handed down throughout the years. They are starting to see that there are new ways of being, there are new ways to look at things, there are new ways to interact, to be in this world, and that it doesn't have to look like A, B, and C. It can look like Z, X, Y. It doesn't matter. So it can be a mix of all the things. And so there is a lot of growth going on. There is a lot of insight going on. There's a lot of people going into those rabbit holes of knowledge, right? And coming out. We have to say, humankind is truly an intelligent being and put into this unique experience of this dense energy of the third dimension, where you have the experience of the duality and the denser energies and the lighter energies and the confusion and the unworthy and the worthy and all the things, right? And so you have to work through all these emotions to finally get to the conclusion that you're brilliant. You're brilliant beings that are multidimensional. You are connected to all knowledge everywhere. You are, when you can tap into that, when you open your mind to it and you allow for the flow of the information to come in. A lot of people say, why am I not remembering anymore? I did something yesterday and it feels like a week ago. If you did something yesterday, I can't remember. I did something 10 minutes ago and I can't remember what it was. Why? You don't need to remember. Your old paradigm, your old construct required you to hold those memories because you didn't build that access to what one might call the Akashic records, or one might call the all-knowing. And now that people have thinned the veil, you don't have to hold the memories. The memories are being held for you in these files, right? In these constructs of the Akashic records, or the constructs of whatever it is that you see as the all-knowing source. And so it allows you and it frees you to be more in the moment. It allows you and frees you to be more aware, more conscious, because your mind is not busy trying to keep track of everything that you've ever done from the time you took your first breath until now. And so it becomes easier. So if you sit with it and you think, what was it that I did yesterday? And you pull that information in through, and it's like getting the external hard drive, Tracie says. It's like, oh yeah, my computer can't hold the information anymore, so I got the external hard drive. So you're accessing that hard drive that has the mass memory, right? And so you have these beautiful abilities now to go into these other spaces to access the knowledge and the information you were looking for. And so you no longer need to, you no longer need to hold it in the mainframe, right? You can send it off to the other files. And so as you step into more and more of that vibration, as you step more and more into the knowingness of the multi-dimensional and beautiful mass facets of who you are, you're going to notice that life gets easier. It's more in the moment, it's more joyful, and you're not spending all your time thinking about all the things you can't do, shouldn't do, didn't do, whatever it is, and all the things that you want to put out in your future. It's all right now and in this moment, and you're creating it right now, and this moment gets created by this moment, by this moment. And so you know how that all works and unravels. But we rambled on for a simple question of that ancestral tree, and look where it got us now. But hopefully that gave you the answer you were looking for.
Oh yeah, plus so much more. Now I got like 10 more questions now. So
So let's dive in.
perfect. So to circle back to the second question I had to rethink about it. So for the creative energy that you was talking about, you mentioned November's time frame. Is that where the creative energy kicks in? Is that what we're talking about for where people have more abilities to create something? Is that
Yeah.
the only thing, the energies that we need to talk about?
There are things that are going on right now in the conscious collective. The energies, the gateways of energy that's coming in now does carry frequencies of some technology, but November, December is going to be a push of things that you're going to be hearing about. We think you're going to hear about these things. We really hope that you hear about them, Jason, because we want you to bring them to the public through your forum, through your platform. So we will try to bring people that will be able to confirm that these things are indeed, in fact, happening, that there are people. When one person gets a piece of information that and technology to create that would benefit the world, they kind of seem to get brushed away and disappear, right? But when mass amounts of people get this information and it's being created in 200 different locations, it's a little bit harder to brush that under the rug. It's a little harder to disappear that many people. And so what we see happening is that these filters of information are going to be going to many people that have come into this planet. They've been preparing for these moments where they'll get downloaded with the technology. They'll tap into the collective consciousness. And if you are somebody that is high tech and likes to create and invent and do that thing, set the intention that you are going to be tapped into these resources and that you'll be able to create something from it. Now, know this, that the ones who will be successful with this are the ones who are doing it for the right reason. The ones who are doing it for humanity. If you are doing it because you want to be the first one to get it out there and make a quick dollar, you're probably not going to have success. If you are doing it because you want to raise the beautiful vibration of the planet and you want to make life easier for the people around you and you want to see ease come in and you want to do it for humanity, you're going to be doing it for the right reasons, and you're going to find your successes are going to be heightened and be more, what is that? You're going to be the one that gets recognized. You're going to be the one that moves forward. So keep that in mind. Don't do it for low frequency, old paradigm reasons. Do it for new future reasons. Yes. Keep yourself in the space of love. Keep yourself in that platform. And you will find your way to it. You will find your way to it very fastly because it is designed to select pure heart. And that'll be a good thing to move into. It doesn't mean you're not going to profit from it. Let's not get that wrong. You will find your way. You're doing it for the right reasons. You're going to be taken care of. And that's how we'll say it.
Was there anything else for the energy for the third quarter besides technology? Was there anything else you're sensing?
We will look. You still have a lot of people that are deciding it is time for them to take their exit. So just know that if you have loved ones that have decided to move away from this planetary system at this time, some of them are doing that because they want to get into the higher vibrational incarnation and come back. In other words, their bodies were not going to be able to acclimate to the fifth dimension because their frequencies were not adjusting. So they decide to leave and they're going to come back in a body that is going to be sustainable in the fifth dimension. So know that if you have loved ones that are leaving the planet at this time, they may return somewhere in that family line, possibly even again, because that happens usually very frequently, or you'll come back into the same collective. And so for those of you who are grieving, who are sad, know that your loved one is choosing to exit at this time because the energies that are coming in would be difficult, and they've already done what they came here to do. And so they were given, many of you also were given the option to exit now or to ride this out and move into the other dimensions. And if you were strong enough, if your bodies were acclimating, if you were making the changes, then you're most likely staying. And for those that are losing loved ones, It is just because they're most of them, we're not going to say all of them, are choosing to come back in a more sustainable environment, more sustainable vibration.
Interesting. Well, since you brought up the 5D, we should explore that a little bit more. So I know it's probably been quite a few videos since we talked about it, but what do you see going on for the Earth transitioning from 3D to 5D? Where do you see us at?
It is an interesting thing to look at that because there are so many that are already experiencing that, right? There are some that are already playing in the frequencies of that and creating their own realities, and they're starting to get the aha moments of they get to create their own reality. And when that reality becomes the 5D reality, then it's like, oh, well, that's silly. That was so easy, right? Not easy when you're still in the third dimension, but when you finally can hold and sustain that, then it's like, oh, this is easy. So the 5D is available as the world moves into 5D. Of course, we've talked about how it's the individual journey, but as each individual gets there, it increases the frequencies for the next one and makes it easier and easier, and it puts it out into the etherical grid again. As each member of this humanity gets to that high vibration and holds it and sustains it, it makes it more accessible to the next person and the next person. So what you start seeing is people who are awakening. The first run of people, right? The first wave, it took them all these years to do it. And the second wave, it still took a long time to do it. Third wave, still many years. And now you are getting into the Great Awakening with the rapid ascension. All the information is already in the etherical realms. It's in the books, it's in the videos, it's in the communication, everything they could ever want to find to help them in this pathway to ascension is available. And so tomorrow, somebody's aunt or uncle could be like, what is life about? And all of a sudden they get on a path and they start reading and and 2 weeks later, they're caught up. And we're not kidding. It's very fast now. You could have somebody that starts down that rabbit hole. Maybe they've been conforming to a very strict religious belief and construct, and then all of a sudden they want to break free of that, and then boom, 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 they're caught up. They've been down every rabbit hole, every video, everything that they could possibly nibble up and consume. And all of a sudden they're where you're at, and possibly even asking you questions about things that you didn't even hear about. You don't even know about, because they have been so expansive and they're just become the sponge. And so what we want to say to you is, when it looks like the ascension isn't happening, it isn't, things are weighing down and heavy, and you go out in the world and people are still nuts and crazy, right? That's not what it actually looks like. What you are seeing is them releasing, moving through, clearing out, healing, and purging all their woes, all their sorrows, all their burdens, all that for their ancestors. You're seeing that in action. And as that finally gets cleared, then you're going to see a mass rapid ascension. And so what appears to be the bigger population is still not awake. All of a sudden, it'll be all aboard, right? Everybody will be joining the team, and the masses of people that are listening right now, the people that are listening, that are already doing the work, you have all been set up so that you are there to welcome them, to answer their questions, to guide them, to help them get through those moments of confusion and breaking free from that construct. And you've all been very beautifully following along so that you're ready when the big mass of people start coming with their questions. And so it's coming soon. It is not a time that we could say, hey, it's going to happen on December 15th, and you're all going to be like, whoa, what happened? It's not all going to happen at the snap of a finger, of course, because each individual is on their own journey with that. But as they reach that frequency, it's not about a date on the calendar. It is about the raising of the vibration. Keep holding and sustaining and keeping those frequencies in the etherical realms. They're going to be able to reach it faster and faster. And so it's about when they raise that frequency and that vibration, that is when the big transition happens. And it does feel very close. It's so much closer than any other time that we've looked at. And as we move into 2023, as we move into 2024, you're going to see this population of people stepping into their ascension rise and rise. And by 2025, if we want to give you a number, we feel like you will be there. You'll be in that space. 2024 is a big transition into a more permanent fifth dimensional frequency where most people, if done correctly, if we stay on this trajectory, you will no longer be experiencing the third dimension, that tippy toe back and forth from one to the other. You'll be able to create the reality you've desired. So that is only a couple of years away.
And what year was that? 2026? Was that it?
2020, we feel like you're going to see a mass change in 2024. And then in
Okay.
2025, it is almost like the third dimension doesn't exist anymore by 20. And as you move forward, it just keeps getting better. And then you'll be like, we've got to get out of this fifth dimension and into the seventh dimension. What's taking us so long to get to the seven? No, we're just kidding. You won't.
Moving on up.
But you also will see these loved ones who have come with the first wave and maybe even the second wave, and they have been working towards this ascension. Even people you didn't realize were working towards ascension they were part of the paradigm of the ancestral design. The grandfathers or the great grandfathers and great grandmothers have come in to start breaking the patterns, but it took more than one generation. It took at least 3 generations to break a pattern. So this is what you need to look at, is that the first, second, and third wave, where there's 3 generations of collectives that started to break the patterns. And now that we are reaching adulthood with the third generation, you are seeing the new children come in. We've talked about these children of the sun. This is what has happened. The 3 generations have broke the patterns and broke through these paradigms, these hand-me-down constructs, right? And so this next generation and the one after it that are coming in are very, very much the ones setting the mold for this new future that you seek. And so as we move, we have the generation coming in now, the one that follows it, and then the one that follows that will be, we don't think that it'll be like the children of today going, what's a landline? They won't even understand the concepts of your world.
Interesting.
And so it is a very powerful time. And many of you are like, hey, I ain't coming back to this place. But when you come back to Earth, when it's in the 5th dimension, it's a much different experience. So we bet that you'll teeter on that a little, right? You'll be like, well, if I can come back in that 3rd generation to come, maybe then I would want to experience it again. And it might be worth it. Love will be amplified in such a big way in that world, in that reality, and life will be lived much differently than it is today. And that's only 2 more generations away. So isn't that fun to know?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So this is not that much of a question, but more like your thoughts on it. So you mentioned we're talking about family tree, the creative energy, and creating your own reality, working off how a lot of the individuals that are out there, when it looks chaotic, it's them working out their negativity, their energies, working that out. So in a way, it's kind of like, it feels like this is an opportunity to work off all that karma from our family trees, in a way, like all that karmatic energy.
The karma, as a lot of people will say, there is no more karma. The karma has been healed. And to an extent, that is true. What you are working on now is the wounds that were left behind from the events that have happened. The events have been healed and forgiven. And now you are working on the deeper roots to that. For instance, Tracie has had clients lately that she will talk to them and she hears their story and she says, okay, so let's go back to this story with your father and your mother. And they say, oh no, I've already healed that. We're good now. Says, okay, that's great, because you're good and this adult version of yourself is good. But the inner child was still wounded. Did you go back and talk to the inner child and help the inner child to understand what was happening during that time where she felt unseen, unheard, abused, sad, alone. Well, no, do I need to do that? Yeah, that is what we're doing now. So we've looked at the events, we looked at the karma, we've all been staring that in the face and working through those things, but now we got to go heal the wounds that all that karma created. And so that's what you're seeing surface now, the deeper pieces to that, those wounds, the scars, the heavy burdens that people have carried, and now that's being released. We see, as we speak of this, we're feeling a large amount of the audience is like, that's what this is, and they're like so freely giving it away. Everything, and when that is done clearing, when the deeper pains are done healing, it's going to be rapid. It's going to be beautiful. And then it's going to be, let's clean up these cities, let's clean up these neighborhoods, let's find ways to work with these people without homes, without food, and let's start living like true human beings, and let's start taking care of each other. We have the resources, we have the knowledge, let's use it for something good instead of filling pockets with money, so much money that they don't even know how to spend it all. Let's use these resources to rebuild humankind. And it's going to be a much different world. And then you're building a fantastic world for the future of your kind, your children's children, your grandchildren, and your great grandchildren, if you will. And so it is a beautiful time to be part of that shift, to be part of that demonstration of humanity coming back to its true form. We're excited to be here with you and to be on the journey with you, and we're elated to see it speeding along and doing well. And so always know that everything is on track. You are doing well, and it is working. People are waking up, and the world is shifting and changing. What you see is the healing, right? When you get a scratch, sometimes it has the healing journey, right? And sometimes it even leaves a little scar that you've got to keep putting ointment on to even wait for that to go away. And so that is where we're at. We're just at that final piece of that healing journey where maybe there's some scabs still to attend to, right? Some injuries to look after. So
Nice. Well, we're at the halfway mark, almost around that time. Is there anything else you would like to share for the group collective, or is there anything else you would like to bring up?
we see that there are some of the collective that are wearing, it is interesting, it is being presented to us like the fairy realm wearing their armor, but not armor. They're just wearing their guardian uniforms is what they're saying. We're wearing the guardian uniforms. We are here, we are present, we're helping with the earth. Oh, beautiful message. They are helping with the earth, and there are many of you connected to the elementals, to that reality, to the magic realm, the fairy realm, and you are working together with them to work with this earth energy, to rebuild it, to revive it, to bring it back into its truest form. Just like you're all working at getting to your truest form, Mother Earth is doing the same. Where things were once deserts and desolate, now is going to be starting to grow again. It's going to come alive again. You're going to see some changes in your planet in that way within the earth. So watch for the earth changes and watch for the timeline shifts as well. Maybe one day you'll be watching TV and you'll be like, what is that? What is that little animal they're showing? I've never seen anything like that before. And it's because you're shifting into new timelines where creatures that were extinct or maybe didn't exist in your timeline exist in this one. So be aware, pay attention. When you see something that is out of the ordinary, look into it a little bit more. Might be something showing you something you set up in your path so that you could see that you are making a difference, that things are shifting and changing, and that you're creating this new reality. And that is what we will leave you all with. You are beautiful, wonderful human beings. You are all making your way wonderfully. We thank you for all the work you're doing, for all the bravery it takes to go through some of this stuff. And we thank you so dearly for keeping your minds and your hearts in that heart center keeping love at the center of all of it, and moving forward with knowingness that the future is bright and it's going to be wonderful, and most of you listening will be there to see it. And so we are encouraging you to keep those light hearts and the bright light shining so that you can keep moving forward with the collective. And with that, unless you have any other questions, we'll bring Tracie back.
You mentioned this was the fairies, the guardians.
The guardians, they're showing us the fairy realm, and they're working very closely with the incarnated fairies. The ones that came into the human form are working very closely with this realm. Many of you are connected to the fairy realm. That doesn't mean that you're not connected to other star collectives as well, but you're being activated in that energy right now, the elemental energy. So you may feel it stronger than the other connections, because you are the, what do we want to say, the free will component, the earth component that we're able to work with, that the fairy realm is able to work with and move energy through, because you came into this form. So yes, those who are feeling connected to the elementals, the fairy realm, the magic, they're all being activated right now to help give Mother Earth a little boost, a little energy lift up.
Are we supposed to explore this further, maybe in another video, or?
We think that could be fun to look at again next month when
Okay.
we return with you.
When Tracie comes back from her big trip.
Yes, she's going to get a bit of an elemental experience there, so that'll be fun to explore.
Oh yeah, they should have some elemental energy where she's going.
Yes, very fun. We are excited to be there because we get to make our appearance there as well. So that'll be fun to.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for everything and all the information.
Thank you for having us again, and thank you to the audience for being here and for being a part of our experience with us. Thank you so much. Okay. I get to go play with the elementals. That'll be fun.
The elementos.
Elementals. Yeah. So
Awesome. So what was the fairy energy all about? What did that look like? You mentioned they had armor or guardians.
well, they didn't have armor. It was like they had uniforms. That was the word that they were looking for. And I think I'm fading because I was like, I don't know what you want, what? But, what they had is uniforms. So they're all dressed alike, and they're wearing like these green leaf looking clothing, and they're running around with little staffs, and they're kind of being like the little magic wand, they're creating, or they're working with the people on the humans that are connected to the elementals. So that was kind of cool to see. So it's almost like each little human had a little fairy standing right here with his little staff going, let's do it.
Charge.
Oh, bless the waters and heal the trees and pet the kitties.
Fairy magic combined.
Yay! Yeah.
Awesome. That's interesting. Perfect timing, if I do have to say so myself, with your trip that's coming up.
Yeah.
And with that being said, you brought up the 5D reality that was going on. So
yeah,
been a few videos since we talked about that. What was that like?
it was really cool because it was like this energy of, I could see like a group of people that have been doing the work, and of course the larger group is the ones that are still coming over, but it's like when they do it, they're coming in large masses, not all at once, but there's large groups coming at a time, is the way they were showing it. And now those of us who have been doing this work and can hopefully help them through navigating that, because it's going to be a lot to take on, right? They're losing their old constructs and their old belief systems, and people get really lost in those moments. It's like, where do I belong? Where do I fit in? I don't understand. The world isn't what I thought it was. If this isn't true, then what is? There's lots of questions, and people are being prepared for that. I think that's what we've been going through this summer, and then we're going to be activated more in that. Also with that November energy, not only just technology, but it felt to me like we're going to be kind of activated in being the way showers when people are showing up and confused and or seeking and wanting some direction, and we'll be like, yeah, read this book, go get that video, do this kind of session, do that, learn about Reiki, learn about, how to work with your energies, how to communicate telepathically. It's kind of fun when you end up working with someone that can communicate telepathically. I had a client today that was sitting across from me, and this is the second time this has happened, where I'm listening to her. She's telling me her story, and I'm thinking in my head, don't forget to ask her, blah, blah, blah. And then she answers it. I'm like, oh, that was interesting. Okay. And then she's telling me some more story. And then I'm like, okay, I want to ask her this question when she's done talking. And then boom, she answers it. And I'm like, I think you're reading my mind. Answering the question before I even get to ask it. And she goes, oh, I do that to my mom all the time. And so here our telepathy was kicking in because we were in our energy and in the flow. And so it ended up being really fun to just play with that energy and see what would happen with it. But yeah, I think then I went into effort. But when you're in the flow of things, and she was just picking stuff up and answering it, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So we're moving into some really cool times. If we all pay attention, we're going to see how that's working in our individual lives and how that's showing up. So
yeah. Nice. And family tree healing, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
a lot of healing going on, a lot of pushing out the energies and their reactions kind of thing. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. One of the things I do want to say, because you were asking me earlier before we started the video, am I seeing any themes? I am. There's a lot of hidden anger. People that don't realize there's anger there. Where there was hurt and there was pain, there was also anger. So start for that. Peel those layers, you guys, because it's hidden. You don't know it's there. And people they get a little bit sensitive when you say, yeah, you're holding a lot of anger. No, I'm not. No, I worked through my anger. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I don't feel angry. Like, okay.
That's the first sign you're
Glad you got done getting defensive about it. Let's go look at it. No. Oh, I thought we were going to get to see the puppy. Yeah, so it kind of hides. She makes her debut. Oh my goodness.
This is the new puppy, everybody. So if you're
little Lulu. And
also like got glasses on.
I know. She doesn't sit still long enough, but she's got these circles around her eyes. She looks like a little raccoon.
So for the podcast, people, what kind of dog?
So she's a husky. Yeah. So I just picked her up. She's 8, almost 9 weeks old now. Yeah, we just picked her up. It's one of those things where you just know. So,
yeah, beautiful dog. Beautiful. It's brown and white. So
she's
light brown.
She's got gray. She's white underneath with gray, and then a black streak down the back, and then kind of a brown. It is brown. You did see brown around the head. You know how some of them will have that reddish brown hair. You hear in the background, I know. That's some of that. So she's got some really cool markings going on. Beautiful.
I like the glasses though.
Yeah. So for those of you who couldn't see her, she does. She looks like she has little raccoon eyes.
Yes, raccoon eyes. I was going to say that.
That's cute.
I saw the picture of the dog, but I did not pick up on the eyes like that.
Yeah. I need probably better pictures. Although I've been taking lots of pictures, I probably have better pictures. But anyway, you got to see her in person. If you
Congratulations on the new edition.
Podcast, go find the video so you can see the dog. But yeah, she's been so much fun. She is, it's funny because I don't know if I think it's a thing that huskies look like they're smiling, or they are smiling. But she looks like she's so happy all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, I got a 5D dog.
Yes, there's a video out there of a husky just naturally looks like it's smiling. And then it looks like when it's happier, it's smiling even more.
Yeah.
So it's like, is the dog's mouth like that, or is it just?
Or are they just a happy?
They're doing it,
She seems to be very happy, and she's adjusted. Like from the moment we put her in the car to drive her home, she's just like, "Where are we going?" And she's just been really happy. So I always believe that animals will return to us. They're fighting under my feet here. Well, not fighting, they're playing. I just feel like she already knew this place. We brought her in the house. The dogs came up. They all kind of looked at her funny, sniffed her a little bit, followed her around a little bit. She walked around like she knew the place. And it's like, who were you?
You think the dog's reincarnated from someone else?
Possibly, possibly. My theory is that it's the cat that went missing a few months back.
Oh, really? The cat.
And we assumed like a coyote or a raccoon got her. So wouldn't it be funny to come back as a dog with raccoon eyes, right?
That's one way to work off some karma. Work out
Like,
some
okay, if it was a coyote, I'm taking on the dog body. If it was a raccoon, I'm taking on the raccoon eyes. Yeah.
You almost maybe forget the important question. So the hidden anger. So is there any advice to work out this hidden anger?
You just gotta see what's triggering you. And then, because we have to remember that, especially as the volunteers, some of that's not even our stuff. And a lot of volunteers are very empathic. So they really took on things from the exterior world, right? So going into where is this coming from? Ask your higher self a lot of questions. Do I have anger? Where would it be? Where do I feel it? So when you're going into this, yeah, I do have advice, because the experience today kind of reminded me of this. So if you're going to go into asking the higher self questions and you find yourself doing this, you're not going to find the answers, because you're looking again outside of yourself. The anger is inside. So look down, you're holding it in your body. So look down, bring your chin down. This is an NLP trick. You bring your chin down and it brings you into the feelings, the emotions. And so if you look down and you go, okay, show me where I'm holding anger, sadness, or any denser energies. And pretty soon you're going to start feeling those emotions come up, and you might even be able to locate the chakra that it's stemming from. But the main thing is just feel the emotion. If you feel the sadness, let the sadness come up. If you feel the anger, let it come up, because it's coming up in whatever form you're ready for. Or and I'm going to say the Shrek thing, it can be like peeling the onion, right? The layers. So maybe there's layers that were blanketing over the anger. So that's why you couldn't identify the anger, because you're feeling the frustration, the sadness, the worry, the fear, the anxiety, all of that's blanketing over anger. And so once you can relieve those layers, and then you can let the anger go. So
Interesting. Glad I asked that question. Hopefully that's some good advice for a lot of individuals that are out there. So makes sense. So the new souls that are here, they're picking up on that. And that's, in a way, that's one of the great thing about a lot of new souls here, is to help us move forward. So that's one of the things that they're doing to help us move forward. That's interesting.
yeah. Yeah. That was cool to get to see it that way. They had talked to me already about 3-generation healing, and that the first like our parents' parents. So we're the 3rd generation, I actually think. And then our children and so forth are starting to create the new frequencies. But they were showing me in my personal family that, like, my grandmother, my mother, me, my grandfather, my father, me, that we were breaking up these paradigms and setting it forth. So it actually might even be 4 generations. I know that I felt like I was the 3rd generation. So like my children would be the 4th, and then the 3 generations to come from them. Like the 20 somethings, their children and beyond are the ones that are coming in as the new children. So yeah. So the children coming in right now is the first generation of that new start. Like when they become adults, we're going to be in that new world. So as long as we plan on living long enough to see those guys grow up, we'll get to see it. But yeah, it's neat to hear that, like, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren are going to experience a world they won't even recognize this one.
I've heard that once before.
Yeah. So they wouldn't even be able to conceptualize the world we live in.
Right. Or it'd be, when they'll look back, they'll be like, why did y'all do that again?
Yeah,
Why
it'll
would
be
it be so
like,
hard and
what?
difficult?
Live like that.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting for sure.
Well, I don't want to keep you any longer. I know it's getting later and later over there. Is there anything else you would like to share?
I
that was the
just,
three main
I'm
things right there.
excited. You know, I did when I do these channels and we get to look at these things, I get very excited about where we're going. It's like we've already done the uphill. We're almost over that cusp, and then we get to ride down. And now it's, you know, it's
So it's
we're
like we're on a roller coaster and it's still like
yeah. We're
clack, clack,
getting
clack,
to
clack,
the
clack,
top.
clack.
So when you see Jason and I going like this, whee, you know, we're on the downslide.
Here it comes.
Yeah,
Smile for the camera.
it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, we got some fun things to look forward to. It's just remembering to keep our focus on that. So yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely. And then just to watch everything play out. I know we were talking, well, Daniel was bringing up the rabbit holes, the information rabbit holes kind of thing, what's out there, digging into this, digging into that. It is very interesting to see how all this is playing out and what's happening now and what's going to happen in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Especially with so much stuff has happened years ago, it should be interesting to see what comes to light from it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that we've had the whole COVID thing going on, but even during that COVID time, look at how much we've changed as a
Mm-hmm.
globally
Absolutely.
that we have changed in that time frame. And we're
Absolutely.
still changing, we're still creating new from that, we're still evolving from that. And yeah, so
Absolutely.
imagine what the next 2 years can do when we're all in this different mindset now.
How many people, what is that number of people that started doing research and started going online? Like, what's this all about? What's this, what's going on in the world today? Start digging into stuff.
I would think that number would be unimaginable. It's a big
Has to be in
number.
the millions. Has to be.
Yeah, it has to be. So, yay, internet.
Well, if you're listening,
Rapid way to get information out. Yeah.
for those that are a part of that millions, just hit that subscribe button. Bing, bing.
My subscribe button.
That's right.
Share the love. Get over on my channel too.
Absolutely. So, don't forget Tracie.
That link I think is down below, by the way. Jason's good about that.
Yes. It should
He had to think about it. Did you see it?
It's on autopilot.
I think it's on there.
Cut and paste.
Anyway, all right. Well, this is probably a great place to say goodbye. And
Absolutely.
waiting for me, so I need to hop off here.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everything. Thank you.
Everybody. Yeah, thank you, Jason.